And the worst thing is I feel like in Israel, we would feel safer than here, because in Israel, at least we are protected, where here we feel like we're not really protected by our government. So
they're full of hate, and it's obvious.
Release the hostages, and there'll be peace.
Hey, Alexa for Urban News, currently in Montreal, and we are the 7th of April, exactly 6 months after the terror attack led by Hamas against Israel that causes more than 1,200 casualties and more than 240 hostages taken by Hamas. To this day, 130 hostages are still unaccounted. I'm standing where is the Montreal Holocaust Memorial Center, and it's also the same building where CIJA have their office. CIJA means Center for Israel and Jewish Affairs. So we came here to cover the event, to talk with people, to report on what is going on inside and the celebration. But unfortunately, when we came here, we were blocked by security, and they say to us that we were not allowed to go in since they say that we didn't registered. But the thing is, we saw CBC, and CBC are the most pro-Hamas channel that we see so far, and we were not allowed to go in, kind of sadly. But is it because there is Suburban that are standing in front of the building? 3 Suburban, 2 from Ontario, 1 from Quebec. Is it because there is some politician inside? Are they liberals? We don't know because we are not allowed. But we are here. We will cover the event. Same if they block us to go inside. We will ask some of the attendees how they feel today. And don't forget to go and sign our petition at canadastandwithisrael.com. And now I'll let you on the full video. So just before this event, there were a march that took place in the area, and the goal was to ask to liberate the hostages.
Sad for the anti-Semitism in this country, sad for the hostages, sad for Israel, sad for the parents of the families of the hostages. Just, it's like I've lost someone in my own family.
It's been 6 months, 6 long months, and we can't wait any longer. The Rebbe told us, Lubavitch Rebbe told us years ago that the Messiah is ready to come now. All we need to do is one act of goodness and kindness to bring the world to a better place.
And the worst thing is I feel like in Israel, we would feel safer than here, because in Israel, at least we are protected, where here we feel like we're not really protected by our government. So
It's tragic, and especially, 4 soldiers were killed yesterday in Gaza. And to hear the news that they're pulling out of Gaza, obviously pressure was put on the Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. He vowed to finish the job. Unfortunately, they didn't finish it. And I know the hostage families must be devastated by this. But, now with Iran's threat, they need more soldiers in Israel proper. And with the possibility of another front with Hezbollah, things are, waging out of control. And we just have to pray and be strong, and pray for Israel, pray for the peace of Jerusalem.
Happened yesterday. Time just doesn't pass. Our suffering and our pain is exactly the same and actually deeper with every passing day. We will not rest, and we will not find any peace until they are all home.
We were the biggest Jewish organization.
You were the biggest Jewish organization?
Yes, bigger than the Zionists. The Zionists were only 8% of the Jewish people in Europe. Oh, there were many crimes committed by the resistance fighters of the Palestinians, yes. But in general, their strategy was not, genocidal. It was not, seeking to kill as many Israelis as possible. No, their strategy was to take hostages in order to exchange them for the hostages that are held by Israel.
Do you think it was justified? 1,200 casualties?
Well, it's not up to me. It's the international law, which says that any, occupied people have a right to resist. With armed struggle, even. It's, an UN, legal right.
Ne voyez-vous pas la domination de
if you had a message to pass to the people who are protesting for Hamas and Palestine in the street calling for Intifada, what would be your message to them?
I think that violence is not the solution. I think that two-state solution is probably the best solution in the future. But before we can have a two-state solution, there needs to be a government in place in the Palestinian territories that can have peace with Israel. And the Jews in Montreal, yes, we do support Israel. Yes, we love Israel. But at the end of the day, we're in Canada. We're in Montreal. It's not Israel here. This is not the ways this country was founded on. And I think protesting and calling for the genocide of the Jews is not something that we can tolerate in Canadian society.
Time to look at the facts, to look at what's actually going on, and to look at the world at a better light and just do good and good and good and stop thinking about negative things and go forward and think positively and do positive things.
When the day will come that Palestinians feel the same as Israelis, then we'll have peace. Until then, we won't have peace. They're full of hate, and it's obvious.
Release the hostages, and there'll be peace. Okay? How can we say stop everything when there's over 100 hostages who haven't seen their families? They haven't seen the Red Cross.
Shame on them. Shame on Canada for allowing this and for not protecting our families, our communities, and fellow Canadians. Thank you.
Well, the official figure is 1,139 Israelis who lost their lives on October the 7th. Of those, 323 are soldiers who were fighting with guns. 57 were border police.
So because they have gun, that doesn't count?
Well, they were trying to kill the Palestinians, so the Palestinians, fought back. And then 200 Palestinian fighters were killed. That's why it was initially 1,400, the number.
Yeah, but that doesn't answer my question.
Well, that's conflict. When they're living under occupation, and like I said, in international law, they have a right to armed resistance.
So it was justified according to you?
According to international law, not according to me. So and then during the Great March of Return 4 years ago, peaceful demonstrators were coming to the frontier, and 323 were shot down, civilians, unarmed. This is the provocation that has created this offensive.
It was timed to coincide with the opening of the embassy in Jerusalem, and Hamas wanted to steal the headlines, right? So they basically had regular civilians picnicking near the fence with Israel, and then they had a ring of actual Hamas terrorists look to infiltrate the fence, knowing half of them would get shot by Israeli snipers anyway. But the point is, you saw pictures of Israeli soldiers camped out near the fence, shooting at the actual infiltrators looking to break into Israel to do an October 7th thing. This is 6 years ago, right? And so the media reported Israel's not, Israeli soldiers killing civilians, right? And no, it was civilians who provided the buffer. And this is the Palestinian cause. It uses civilians to justify their genocidal intent against Israel.
Hamas didn't even support that demonstration. It was the people themselves.
Right, Hamas wasn't
Then they
involved.
jumped into it afterwards.
Everything that happens in Gaza, Hamas has to approve. I mean, come on, can you be that naive? Someone also who thinks Israel has no right to exist is not in a position to judge Israel's actions.
You don't know what's going on.
So after talking with some attendees, and now we understand why we were not allowed in and who is the person who came with the Superban. It is Anthony Housefathers, the MP of the Liberal Party. So now it's clear why we were not allowed. So go over CanadaStandWithIsrael.com, sign the petition, make your voice heard that you are standing with Israel. So I repeat, CanadaStandWithIsrael.com.